Hello, my name is Pete Wassell from Augmate. I'm the founder of Augmate. It was an early Glass at Work partner, so one of 10 companies certified in the world to work with Google on their glass product. And there's been a couple of presentations over the past 2 days. Some were research-based, so showing what they're working on in the lab. Other people talked about where's the money to be made with AR, and that's part of what I'm going to talk about today. So we believe that there's money to be made within the industrial IoT. So I'll talk a little bit about what the IoT is, Industry 4.0, and really on the edge of IoT, there's an interaction with equipment. So it's not just machine-to-machine communication, but humans interact with machines, they repair the machines, they operate the machines, and we see smart glass applications being very relevant in this space. So first, Industry 4.0. So why are we at 4.0? So Industry 1.0 was kind of the flow of water or flow of steam that powered equipment. Industry 2.0 was the flow of electrons. So it was really bringing in machinery and assembly lines, kind of Henry Ford model, and building a lot of products at one time. The first industrial revolution was really just building one product at a time. The third industrial revolution was really about automation. So it was like the flow of products, essentially. And you'd say, boy, we've reached all the efficiency we could possibly get with automation. But that's not true. In the Industrial Revolution 4.0, you really have an ability to use the flow of data and the flow of interconnectivity, and that's what we can tap into. And just by the way, you might think of this as a value chain. So it's somewhat about manufacturing and assembly, but before that, you've got the supply side, and there's smart glass applications on that side, and then afterwards, you've got kind of the support side, so maintenance and that kind of support. So Kevin Ashton coined the term of Internet of Things, and then in 2006, there was a report that was written in Germany called Industry 4.0, and it talked about the marriage of science and industry and how it can be improved with technology. And then in 2010, the German cabinet took this report and said, we should throw some money behind it, we should really put a plan together, and then over 10 years from 2010 to 2020, they said, let's implement this, and that's what they did. So it was born out of Germany. So over here on the left-hand side, we have some of the technologies that are enabling Industry 4.0. So if you'd say, why now? Like, why is this happening now? Inexpensive sensors, computing power, a large capacity for storage. It's going to hold all that data. Analytics and networking. That, on the left hand, kind of powers this technology, which really makes up Internet 4.0. And you can see augmented reality is on there. So what do the market research people say? So McKinsey believes that this whole generation that grew up with smartphones and tablets, they're going to be a natural for working with this kind of technology because they're used to voice interfaces and touch, that kind of thing. Deloitte, they looked at Google Glass and smart glasses as really exponential technology. So the synergistic effect of all these technologies coming together is really Industry 4.0. Boston Consulting Group, they looked at some of the use cases, and I'll show you one later that talked about maintenance, the mobile maintenance worker, and how efficient they can really be now. And then PricewaterhouseCoopers, they predicted how many jobs or how many workers would be impacted by this technology. And it was an interview with a smart glass manufacturer, and they predicted about 110 million people would be impacted in their jobs with smart glasses. So when we look at this next chart, this comes from Forrester, and it shows how many smart glasses will be implemented in the enterprise. Now, it doesn't contradict this number here from PricewaterhouseCoopers. This chart here is just the US numbers, and it shows about 8.8 million smart glasses in the enterprise over the next 5 years. So pretty significant. And what they did was kind of interesting. They took they looked at 264 jobs that would benefit from smart glasses. So using the technology to make those jobs more efficient, more productive. One of the areas that we think that makes sense is tying applications into IoT platforms. So here, this is another study from Forrester. It shows the top three, which is PTC. They purchased ThingWorx back in 2011. They spent about $1 billion building out their platform. And then they picked up Vuforia in 2015, so pretty significant IoT platform. Watson is a little bit more general. IBM has spent about $3 billion on this platform, and they created a whole new division. I say it's more of a general IoT platform because it's not just industry. They also work with the medical field and other fields. And then General Electric, they made a platform called Predix, and they actually created it for their own business units, and it turned out to be so good that they shared it with their business partners. So I think that there's a real opportunity to connect in with these back-end platforms to help workers. So McKinsey, they believe that about 23% of revenue will be increased by just going to Industry 4.0. We'll get about 26% more productivity. With predictive maintenance, you get an increase in machine life, decrease in downtime, and about 80% of companies think that their business model will be impacted by Industry 4.0. So again, I think a pretty significant opportunity. This chart here shows something called the NAC index, and it talks about economic diffusion from technology diffusion. So if you think of, let's say, electricity, when electricity was put into the United States, there was a technology impact that caused a further economic impact. So likewise with IoT, you're going to see IoT be implemented, and there's going to be an economic impact. And this shows by country what countries are more prepared for IoT and who could benefit. So if you just focused on these countries, even the first 10, a number of them are English-speaking and good markets to hit. And I think the good news is if you look at the bar charts here, the highest country, United States, is at 64%. So there's a lot of work to be done when it comes to implementing this technology. So some of the statistics around smart glasses, this is from Vuzix, about a 6 times productivity increase with airframe wiring layouts, 25% efficiency within warehouse, cost savings, $20 return on investment for every dollar spent with remote maintenance, and then about a 44% reduction in errors when using smart glasses. So these are statistics that they've pulled from their business partners. I think it was Upskill, Ubimax, XOI, and I forget who the fourth one, maybe AFS. So actual use cases. Ubimax, this is one of Augmate's partners. This is showing within the warehouse different picking methods. And you could see by using smart glasses, they had the lowest number of errors and the lowest amount of time to do picking. This is a project that we did with AGCO. It was tractor inspection. And so they reduced the time of inspection from 100 minutes to 70 minutes. So 30% improvement in efficiency. So pretty significant. They're at 180 Google Glass devices today. So Boston Consulting Group, this particular use case that they're talking about is mobile technicians. And this gray bar here at the in the middle here, it shows the timeline from, let's say, 6 in the morning till 3 p.m. And the bottom portion is how you can use today's technology with IoT in order to improve that job. The top part is showing the same job without this technology. So it takes a full day to go on-site, collect data, do interviews, that kind of thing, where down below they collect the information in advance, they go, they do a job, and really they could do 2 or 3 times the amount of work that they did previously, just by moving to Industry 4.0. So that's really the augmented worker and using data. So just a couple of statistics on market size. This is approximately a $5 billion market by 2020. And by 2030, it's about $15 trillion, so an incredible market opportunity. Some people wonder if IoT will hurt jobs, and from the research that we've done, it won't be the case. So Accenture did a survey and found that 87% of the people that they surveyed said that it will be a net increase of jobs. When we looked at a Boston Consulting Group report, it showed just in Germany alone, it was 350,000 jobs would be added to their workforce by moving to IoT. So some jobs do go away with automation and the use of artificial intelligence, but you got a net increase of jobs. So there's new jobs that come into play, like data scientists that are used a lot more frequently. So Augmate, we have a device management platform, so it does the user management, device management, security, over-the-air updates, policies, that kind of thing, for deploying smart glasses within the enterprise. And some people complained that there's a lot of pilots going on, and we embraced it. We said, you know, we could put pilot in a box. We've loaded up our cloud-based platform, put it on an IoT gateway, and ship it with 3 sets of smart glasses and allow companies to do pilots. If that's the stage that they're at, we don't have to wait for new hardware. They could test out things, they could get things done, and if it goes into production, you know, that's great. I'd say 90% of the companies that use our platform, we've got about 50 partners that use our platform to distribute their software. 90% are in the pilot phase, and that's where things are at, but it'll definitely improve. So I'm Pete Wassell, thank you very much.